I'm out here in the garden picking what is still available in the garden. Everything is still growing. The peppers, lots of tomatoes, even the berries are still trying to put out. You can see over here, the blackberries are still putting out blooms. Let me zoom in so you can see the blooms. It's freezing cold out here. But look at all those huge tomatoes. Don't know what this plant is. If you know what it is, I'm going to put my boot up here so I can show you how big it is. That's how huge those are. They're massive. Way bigger than my hand and everything. And you can tell everything is getting ready for winter time. It's pretty much all trying to die off. We still have peppers, but since I've been gone, most of them have been eaten by something, even if it's just a bite or a nibble. I'm not sure what this is, but this is putting out a beautiful little bloom. What is that leaf, guys? Do you recognize it? Not an okra, is it? Because it kind of looks like okra. This is our hummingbird vines. We have them all on this fence. And then we have blackberries, which put out berries like that big, this big around. And then we have sunflowers and raspberry, red raspberry, black raspberry, and at the very end, golden raspberry. All of this is the huge blackberry and some black raspberry on here, as well as the big, huge black raspberry. Our fruit trees, that one died. Butterfly bush really is doing well this year. It really took off. Look over here where we planted all kinds of tomato plants. You can see tomatoes on those and peppers on the other side of that cattle panel, and a lot of unripe and ripe tomatoes in these. We did have cantaloupe planted through here, as well as other plants. Look at these peppers over here. We don't eat these, but somebody we know will. So I need to come in and pick them. What are these orange ones? I know they're super, super hot, whatever they are. Aren't they gorgeous? Look at them. So prolific. Here again are some of those tomatoes. Still putting out. This was some kind of a squash. Don't know what it was. Coneflower, echinacea, tomatoes, cayenne, and other hot peppers. Lots of tomato. Over there is all of our passion fruit. I'm in here in the orchard area with all of our fruit trees, which we're not letting them put out fruit. We're just letting them grow. And then when they're really big and healthy, we'll let them put out fruit. Let's see if this is a good tomato. Nope. It's really soft and mushy. This one is good, and it just came right off. I'll go on the other side and get some of those. I'll be out here for a while if I'm getting all these things. But if you look on the other side of this cattle panel fence where I'm standing, like 5 feet away, we only planted 10 passion flower vines right there. Last year they came up, look how thick and bushy. I mean, they go all the way down. They're growing off in the neighbor's yard, in our yard here. Those are those, some right there coming up. They grow up over here, choking our plants. So just if you're growing some passion flower, know that those vines will just come up everywhere. Here's one sprouting up from the ground. That's passion flower. It's a gorgeous plant, puts out some gorgeous fruit. You just have to know that it grows underground and spreads and gets everywhere. Oh yeah, this one is soft too. That's why it fell off so easy. I'm just gonna throw it back over there. All right, well, let's see if I can go up here and check on our fig. I don't know if we got any fig. I know I saw some when I was heading out. Whew. And this is some more of our red raspberry. Look at the fig. Look how big it is. It's so happy and healthy. I don't know if any of the fig are actually ripe enough to eat. I can't get through there from the vines. Let me see if I can be creative over here and get through this jungle. Because we have one on this side too. Alright, here's the other one. And you can tell it's got some frost damage right here from being too cold. And the fruit, I can't tell if it's still going to grow. But do you know how a fig fruit has to be able to be pollinated? Is a wasp will have to get into the flower and get into the fruit and die inside the fruit. And that is how you get your figs. There's a dead wasp. Here's some of our very much overripe eggplant. It's actually starting to dry up. Oh, look at this one. It's still very heavy. This one's still a bit purple. That one actually may be edible. Don't know. Let me check on this. This one is purple. Oh, I think it got ripe too soon. So I don't think that one's going to be edible. It's soft like it got frozen. Like a lot of these are purplish, but I don't think they're ready. And this is a look from our garden from this side of the fence. We had peas and cucumbers and beans, lots of tomatoes, lots of peppers, herbs, flowers. Look at the passion fruit. We didn't plant these here. These grew from up in the ground and climbed up. Actually pulled down some of our branches from the tree. That is a tree branch that got pulled down. And this here is the passion fruit. I wonder if we actually have any fruit on this one. I know we saw some earlier. I don't know if they got picked. Here's one. It's not wrinkled. They say it has to get wrinkled first. I don't know if you could see that, but it's not wrinkled, but it's soft. I mean, I can push it in. So this year we did get some kiwi fruit. See how they're growing up from the ground? They actually are growing all the way up over here, although they just cut the grass here so you can't see all of them. But they grow like 6 feet underground because the root system underground will spread them. And then wherever those are, they will spread yet again. This is some of our grape plant coming over into this area. And the passion fruit is coming over to where the grapes are. And we have to deal with this next year head on. And also, a lot of my morning glories are growing here. I don't see the leaves, but these are the end of the flowers with the seed pods. That's morning glory. It does the same thing that the passion flower does. See how it's vining onto the grapevine, that will choke it out. That will break the branch down by weighting it down and killing it. So we definitely need to deal with this next year. I love morning glory, but they should not be with grapes. And passion fruit should not be anywhere near grapes. All of this is our grapevine. And we did get lots of grapes this year, but they never grew in size. They were beautiful green clusters, hundreds of them. And they finally did turn purple about a month before I went on my first trip in September. You can see the remnants of some of them here. You can see they never got big. Oop, I just dropped that fig. And I want to take it in and check it, see if it's edible. But look at all these grape clusters, and they never got big. This is about how big they got. There were a few that were bigger down here at the end. Have to be careful where I step. There's a hole there, and I accidentally stepped in that before. But you can see all the grape clusters in here. Look at all those. And then you also see all this morning glory. Look how it's choking the grape plant. Look at it, it's terrible right here. Terrible. And the grape vines come down on the ground and they plant themselves, and our neighbors come and cut. So what we need to do next year, when this all goes dormant so we don't injure it, is look at my cleome, look how beautiful. What we have to do next year is attach the cattle panels that we're going to loop over, so that the vines can climb up and over and the clusters can dangle away from the birds, and then we'll be able to get them, and hopefully they'll do okay that way. This is some of the kiwi plant that we had vining up here. This is also a grapevine that's hanging by it, but this down here is kiwi growing on this one, growing on this one, growing on this one. This one really did good. And this one. And these are the few of the cattle panels that we were going to use to make like an arbor for the grapevine. And let's see, here's more kiwi, but it didn't grow on the cattle panel fence because it's distracted by all this grass. It's actually protected though. It's still really doing pretty good. And then we have one more right down here that is also kiwi. And then this is wisteria. And it did have some beautiful blooms. And now it also has some of these beautiful little flowers. The wisteria is gone out here. This little bit died off. It's okay, it'll come back next year. And this is the back view of our backyard, where we have a fire ring, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 posts, and then we can put one hammock in between each of the 2 posts, so we have 7 hammocks around. This corner has the firewood, which is actually wood cut down from the 2 trees that we had in the backyard. We had one really large tree where I started my video that kind of grew up by about as tall as a house, and then a small black walnut right over here, not by those little skinny trees, by that big bushy tree right there. And so there's a tree trunk there, and all that was cut down and packed over here for our fire ring. We also have grapes, and we have something else. Oh, red raspberries growing on that fence over there. And that is the back view of my cabin, my shed indoor cabin, my elderberry plant, which was actually cuttings from, see right next to the house there? I'm going to zoom in. Right here, right next to the house. That's all elderberry. And a couple branches broke off and were down on the ground for a couple of days when I went out and I saw it, because we had had a really bad storm. And the branches were dying, and I broke them off and stuck them in the ground right here. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Oh. Excuse me. So I just stuck the broken branches. I broke them into like 3 or 4 pieces and stuck it in the ground, and look how big that is. Ooh, there's somebody's cat, not ours, living under my cabin where the groundhogs live. So this is our backyard, and you can see, look at that garden. Fruits, vegetables, orchard trees, and look how tall that elderberry is. That's taller than the second, or actually the first floor in the house, but the house is actually elevated part way by the basement, because this bottom part is the basement. Each of these rings that we have around the posts for the hammocks is going to be done up like this one, with the wisteria and the sweet potato and the passion fruit. This one does have passion fruit and morning glories, and you can see passion fruit still flowing out. But winter's hitting and it's freezing, so some of it is dying off. So this is the backyard. It has not been mowed because I've been gone. I definitely need to take care of it. Look at that cat looking at me like, what are you doing in my backyard? I'm like, cat, that's not your backyard, it's mine. Well, I hope you enjoyed getting an update on what's going on in our garden. You guys have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.